I know I sound like a car salesman, but I have gone absolutely crazy. Remember when I went Elvis crazy? Well, I've just gone crazy again by another artist. Who? Take a look. As a teenager, I had no idea, never heard of this artist. That's my musical narrowness, I suppose, at the time. More recently, yeah, I've heard the name, but never really fully understood what that person had done or achieved, or how good their music was. And recently, I picked up my first an album of that particular artist. You know, since then I've picked up not one, not two, not three, not four, not five,
not 6, not 7, not 8, not 9, not 10, not 11, not 12, not 13, not 14, not 15,
16 albums are there. So, who is it? Mr. Miles Davis. I did advise or tell some of you guys I was looking more into jazz. I guess hearing a couple, especially of Miles Davis, fantastic music. I mean, he's always got great musos playing with him, and why not? It's Miles Davis. I guess I wanted some music for the vinyl room here to put in the background while I was, cleaning records or just wanting to relax or something like that. But when I got one I really liked, I thought, oh, okay, get another one, then another one. So it just keeps going. So there's still a few albums of this artist I'm really after. I'll run through Miles Davis and just quickly show you the albums I've got. I've listened to probably most of them now. Not one is a bad album. So if you love jazz and you thought about getting some Miles Davis, do yourself a favour and buy them. They're brilliant. This is on CBS label. This is, I think this might be it's a USA one. Miles Davis, Filet di Kilimanjaro. I told you I can't pronounce that. My Funny Valentine, Miles Davis in concert, on his famous red Columbia label. Sorry for the reflection, the sun coming through here. This one I got, it's a 180 gram, obviously a repress, it's 1958. The English is Lift to the Scaffold. All you French people can pronounce that. Still in the shrink. Haven't played it yet. This one my lovely wife got for me for my, I think it's Father's Day, or Father's Day birthday recently. And it's a Miles Davis from a 1990 concert, remastered for vinyl. And this was at a Target store. And I believe for those of you in Australia and Europe, that Aldi, yes, Aldi are back for their annual LP sale. I'll talk about that in another video soon. Miles Davis, Quiet Nights, absolutely love this one. CBS. Arranged and conducted by Gil Evans. Now Gil features on a lot of works with Miles Davis, so if you ever see that, do yourself a favour and buy it. This one's a great album. Someday My Prince Will Come. And you can see here it's a sextet, so it also includes the famous John Coltrane on that wonderful red SBS label with the yellow writing. So if you ever see that, it's also a good indication. Well, that I've worked out so far that it's a good early press. And this is a Japanese stereo press. Davis Blue Haze on yellow Prestige, I think, but don't hold me to it. That this, see, some of Miles' albums have come together where they've been recorded before on years ago and then put together into an album type of thing. So I think that's one of these examples. Walkin' Miles Davis on the green Prestige, and pieces Lucky Thompson, Horace Silver, J.J. Johnson, Percy Heath, Dave Schildkraut, and Kenny Clark. Kenny Clark is a name familiar to me. So for you jazz people up there you go. Miles Davis, Round About Midnight, on that red label. Miles Davis, Agata, excuse me if I pronounce that wrong, but this is a fantastic album. It's one of his most noted albums. Let's have a look at it. It's a double LP. This is a Japanese repress. This is sort of typical of good Japanese pressings. They do these fantastic inserts. Let you have a look at that. Obviously, you're not going to be able to read that. But I've got a few other pressings of Japanese I've picked up recently, which I haven't shown yet, which I will, and a lot of them are packaged like this. And I'm pretty lucky I've come across a seller who has very good quality. And this is beautiful as well. It's very, very thick cardboard, which I love. Very colourful. And the music, it's not the traditional jazz sort of stuff like Miles does in his early stuff, because this is a bit later. But this is, the sound is massive. It's kind of got a little 70s infusion thing going on, so love that. This one I picked up recently, another Japanese pressing with Obi strip. It's called Steamin'. It's a Miles Davis quartet. And John Coltrane, Paul Chambers, Red Garland, a few others. Not a few others, two others I think. And Yellow Prestige. Yet to hear that one. Miles Ahead on the orange label. This album I absolutely loved. Again, this is one of his top sort of 5 albums noted, particularly by Rolling Stone magazine. And I think this is magic all the way through. Miles Davis Sketches of Spain. A lot of the colour, Spanish, Spain, that influence is very big in this the Spanish sort of music tradition. And to me, this is a Japanese press as well. Not an original pressing, but close to. But the sound is phenomenal. Absolutely, highly recommend this album. Highly recommend it. This one I haven't heard yet. Just picked this up recently. George Gershwin's Miles Davis, Porgy and Bess Orchestra under the direction of that man, Gil Evans again. And Columbia Jazz Masterpieces label. Just 2 more. Thanks for sticking around. I know I normally do a lot of rock music and so forth, so this might be maybe a little bit dull for some of you, but for those of you who are interested and maybe want to explore Miles Davis, hopefully I've offered some tips here for you. This one, of course, is his most famous. A lot of people in the vinyl community have been showing this from time to time, but with darn good reason. It's probably his most famous album. It's kind of blue. This is a Japanese press as well. Not an original press, but close to. And this is like near mint condition. So if you're going to get an album in near mint, it's got to be a great one like this. Fantastic. I played it last night. From Spotify anyway, when I was lying in bed last night, to play it for my wife so she could hear it, and yeah, she really enjoyed it too. So there you go. And last one, I just played this afternoon, just before I came on here. Cheers. And it's Miles Davis, Water Babies. I love this cover. I've always wondered, some of these covers, like the titles to these songs, like where do they come from? I was just thinking before, jazz albums, titles. Is it harder to come up with a title, even a name for a song? You're playing instrumental pieces, as opposed to rock songs where you've got actual, other music where there's vocals and words. So, just a thought I had. And it's on that great label that I love, the red Columbia label. So yeah, side 1's good, typical Miles Davis, fantastic music. And side B, I loved even more. There's a lot more drums in there. I like jazz sometimes when there's loud crescendo and then it dies down for quite a while, and then a song will go into, like, you just hear the drummer do a bit for 2 minutes. Then you might hear the double bass player play for a minute, just on his own. And it's quiet and it sort of builds up. Or the drummer does a piece. So side B's like that. So highly recommend this as well. It's probably in his top 10 well-known albums, recognised anyway. and I love this one. So there you go, from Megadeth to Miles Davis to jazz. Who would have thought CV, a big jazz man? You just don't know, do you? Like, who knows in 6 months what I'll be into. The great thing about music, if only we had a longer life to explore all the wonderful music out there. But anyway, enjoy what you can. Take care, guys. Cheers.